you still have Linux Mint 17 or 18, then it's time to upgrade to the newest Linux Mint version. Because the update support for Linux Mint 17 expired 2 years ago, and this month, in April 2021, Linux Mint 18 won't get updates anymore. So let's update our very, very old Linux Mint version. Keep on. Welcome all. For our upgrade in Linux Mint, we will need an USB stick, and if you don't have much disk space on your computer, an external hard drive to store personal data on that. At first, we are gonna download our new Linux Mint version. I select our Firefox web browser in here. You can do this with every Linux Mint version you have. But yeah, let's get to our linuxmint.com site. Head over to download and just select the edition you have. In my case, I have Linux Mint Cinnamon, but if you have a very old computer, then XFCE is maybe a better option for you. If you can't decide, take Cinnamon. So now we need to select a server from where we download that. So that belongs to you. Where are you living? I'm living in Germany, so I select a German server and select Save File, select OK. While downloading, we need to check how much disk space we have left over. Just head over to the menu and type in disk. Here we have our disk usage analyzer. Just select this guy. And here we see, in my case, I have 6 gigs of 40 gigs used. That is enough for me. But if this bar is over 50% of that, you maybe need an external hard drive to save your personal data on that. To do this, just head over to your file manager, and in here select right click, select show hidden files, and here we have our complete personal folder. These all files you have to select and to copy to your external hard drive if you don't have so much place that you can double your data. So while copying these files, I have downloaded my actual Linux Mint ISO. I just select right click and select make bootable USB stick. Be sure that all data which is on this USB stick will be lost after that, so keep in mind that. And I select make bootable USB stick, and here you have to select the USB stick and click write in the end. I did this already, so I don't have to do this, but you will get it. Okay, in my case, my disk space is large enough. I don't need to copy any personal files to another hard drive. So we can now start with the installation of the new Linux Mint version. If we have enough disk space, we will install our new Linux Mint next to the old Linux Mint. If we don't have enough disk space, we will delete this Linux Mint version here and install on this partition our new Linux Mint. So okay, for now, we have to restart our computer because we have to start from our USB stick. If you don't know how to boot from your USB stick, just search in the internet for opening boot menu on your laptop. If you don't have a laptop, common keys for that are F8, F11, F12, or F1 or F2. So you have to press one of these keys on reboot, that you get a list where you can select your USB stick, your hard drives, maybe your DVD drive and other mediums. So I select restart and see you soon. So now we have our boot stick here. We can select start Linux Mint in here. If this window view differs, so maybe you have a very black large table in which maybe 2 or 3 options are in, just select install Linux Mint or Start Linux Mint or similar to this will boot up our new Linux Mint. So great, here we are. Now I select Install Linux Mint, select your language, select Continue. In my case, I have a German keyboard. I'll select Continue. And here we have to install our multimedia codecs. It is highly recommended. Just check this out and click Continue. And here we have two options. If you backed up your personal data on an external hard drive, you could choose Erase Linux Mint 17.3 and reinstall, or whatever version number you have. But if you didn't store your personal data, you should choose Install Linux Mint 20.1 alongside our old Linux Mint. I will do this one. You can do this one if you stored your personal data. Maybe check this out if your personal data really is stored on this external hard drive on another PC. So yeah, because that will erase our old Linux Mint with all data in it. But yeah, in my case, I choose the second option and select Continue. And here we can choose how big our new Linux Mint should be. And I recommend to shrink our old Linux Mint as much as you can. In my case, these are 13 gigs, maybe on your case 40, 60, 70, 200 gigs. That depends on how much data you stored in it. Make sure our new Linux Mint has over 50% of the space we can assign in here. In my case, that's okay how it is selected, and I just select Install Now. And we select Continue, and this step could take several hours because our partition of the old Linux Mint will be shrinked down. That could take many minutes. After that, we will be asked, do we want to write the rest of the changes to the disks? I select Continue. And here we can now choose where we are living. In my case, I am living in Germany, so I select Berlin. I select Continue. And now we have to configure our new user. I'm called Jean. Here we can define a cool name of our computer if we want to. For this scenario, I won't. I define a password, and these options are for me okay. I select Continue, and our Linux Mint is installing. See you soon. Okay, great. Our installation is now complete. We can restart our system now. Now we could plug out our USB stick and press Enter. Now we can select if we wish to boot our new Linux Mint or our old Linux Mint. In my case, if you choose the first option at the installation, Linux Mint will start up automatically. And all I have to do is to press Enter, and here our new Linux Mint starts up. Now let's log in. And here we now have our new Linux Mint. We are seeing our welcome screen, and just select first steps in here. At first you could select another color if you wish. So maybe blue, another blue, violet or green. You can select whatever you want. And in the next point you could select a traditional desktop interface. It behaves like Windows XP, and the modern desktop layout behaves maybe like Windows 7 or Windows 10. I keep the modern one, but yeah, you could choose the traditional one if you want. At next step, we have to configure our system snapshots. I click on Launch, type in our password. I select Next. I select the partition of our new Linux Mint. I select Next. And in here, I deselect daily and select monthly. In my opinion, that is enough. I select Next. Keep this guys here unchanged. Select Next and select Finish. So great, our snapshots are configured. If our Linux Mint is broken sometime, we could go back to our last system snapshot. That is a great feature. Just let's head over to the driver manager, and in here you could install some additional drivers, maybe for graphics cards, but in my case, my computer does not need any additional drivers, so that's perfect. I can close this guy here, launch the update manager, and select OK in here. And just let's switch to a local mirror. I select yes in here, type in my password, and just select this guy here. In my case, I select a German server because I'm in Germany, but yeah. Select the fastest server you want, just select apply, go over to the base and repeat this procedure and select apply. And in the end, just select OK to update your cache. So that is finished for me. I close the software sources menu, and at first we have to apply an update to the update manager. Just select apply the update, type in your password, and let's update that guy. After some time, our update manager reopens and we have many updates to apply and install. If you want, you could do this now, but in my case, I will configure automatic updates so I don't have to care anymore about my updates on the system. I just select edit preferences here, automation, and select the first option here. I also select the second option. And yeah, that is it. I just close the preferences, close the update manager. Perfect. I don't have to care anymore about updates. After that, we could do some configuration of our Linux Mint. In my case, I won't do that now, but just one hint of me, select hot corners. And in my case, I enabled the right bottom corner in here and select show all windows. And if I go with my mouse to the bottom right corner, I open up an overview of all opened windows. That is great. But if you don't want this option, just deselect this one here. And yeah, that's great. It's just a hint of me and I'm feeling great with that. In the end, if you have a laptop and maybe log in at some public Wi-Fi hotspots or anything else, then a firewall could be great. I just select launch here, type in my password, and just set this one up and maybe select public. And yeah, that's great. Please keep in mind that if you maybe are playing games or are using other software like SSH or other things, that firewall will block them, so you have to add some additional rules. If you are staying at home the whole time, I think you won't need any firewall because your router has a firewall too and is blocking every new connections from outside. So that is okay for me. And now just let's copy our data to our new Linux Mint. I just open up the file manager and yeah, just press F3 to get a to-list view. At the left side, I open up my stored data. If you have an external hard drive, just plug in it to your PC and select it in here in devices. Or if you kept your old Linux Mint, just select the partition of it. In my case, it is the 13 gigs volume, and I just select home and select Jean. In here, I have my complete personal data. I select right click, show hidden files, and I select everything of it. Right click, copy, go to my personal folder in here, select right click, paste, and select apply this action to all files and select merge. And it is copying the data. In the end, it will ask, do we want to replace some files? I select apply this action to all files and I select skip. Now we have our complete personal data in here. Maybe you could delete the GNOME 2 folders because we won't need it anymore. And in the end, just select right click, show hidden files, And here we have now our complete personal data on our new Linux Mint. And you could start using your new Linux Mint. If you have kept your old Linux Mint on that computer too and you want to remove it, I recommend to remove it maybe some days later, maybe 1 or 2 months, when your actual Linux Mint does work completely, your printers are working, and yeah, you won't need your old Linux Mint anymore. Just we will remove our old Linux Mint, but for that we need our live USB stick. So let's plug in this guy, restart our computer and start from that USB stick. Let us see on our live system. So here we are at our Linux Mint boot stick. I just select Start Linux Mint in here. In here we choose gparted from our menu and open up this program. And here we have our partitions. That one is our old Linux Mint. That one is our new Linux Mint. So just delete this partition here, right click this one and choose delete. Then right click this one here, choose resize move and move that guy without changing the size to the beginning of your space and select resize move. Here we have a warning that this might cause our operating system to fail to boot. That is okay for us. We will care about that later and just select OK. Now select our blue partition in here, that extended partition. Select right click, resize, move and drag this beginning here to our front of the free space. Select resize, move, and now we have our blue partition in here. That's great. Just select our dark blue partition. That's our new Linux Mint. Just select resize, move, drag that guy to the front and drag this end to the end of our free space. So we have our complete free space assigned to our actual Linux Mint. I select resize move. Here we have the same warning. That's okay for us. Just select OK. And in the end, select apply. Great. I select apply. That takes some time. So great. All operations were done. That could take maybe some more hours if you have much data stored in it. In the end, I select close and just close gparted. Now we have to fix our boot settings because our computer doesn't know that some partitions were moved. So we have to tell him that. I just select boot repair in our menu here. We select no in here and select recommended repair. Now this guy is reinstalling grub and configuring everything fine. We don't need to upload our report to Pastebin. Select no. Our boot was successfully repaired. We can now reboot our computer. Now there opens up the log of the installation of grub. If you want, you could check this out, but in my case, I won't do that. So I close this guy and just select reboot on our live system, or restart, better said. Now we could plug out our USB drive, select enter, and our new Linux Mint will start up. And here we have our new Linux Mint. Great. I think it's doing fine. And yeah, the next 1 or 2 days, your Linux Mint could be slower sometimes because it is setting up the snapshots of your system and doing the first update of your system. That could take some time, maybe about 10 or 20 minutes. So don't wonder if your system will be busy in the next few minutes or in the next 1 or 2 days. After that, you won't recognize any automatic operation of your system, but you don't have to care of it anymore because it is doing everything automatically. So that was it for today. If this video helped you out, leave a like and subscribe to this new channel, and see you in the next video. Bye.